Hello everyone, and today we have a slight issue with our Nissan Frontier. Let me climb underneath and I'll show you what we got. So right here at our flex pipe, we have a break right here and it's causing a massive exhaust leak. And this was something I noticed when coming outside the auto parts store. I see a big puddle underneath my truck and looking under it, yep, it's right there, right at that break. And this is something we need addressed right away. We don't want to let this go on long term. Now, one easy fix, I can just cut out the flex pipe area and put in a new one using band clamps, which is really shouldn't be too difficult. But for this one, I want to change out the whole muffler since it's all one piece. So, let's get started. So let me shimmy right back under the truck one more time. And really get in a position. Yeah, that's about good right there. So we'll start with our 9/16 socket and socket wrench. And let's go ahead and loosen up the front exhaust clamp. Now this clamp is a saddle or U-bolt clamp. So I'm going to start by trying to loosen these nuts up. Best if we could take it off, but for now, let me just go ahead and loosen up since this is rusted really bad. We'll get the second one as well. And, yep, start to come loose. And I'll get my socket off. There we go. And all I'm going to do is just slide it down just for now. And we'll go to the back rear exhaust clamp. Now this is a band clamp. Again, same 9/16 socket. I'm going to try to loosen this one as well. And, come on. Okay, this does not feel good. Yeah, definitely looks like in bad shape. It's definitely the USS Rust Bucket. So let's try a Hail Mary pass with some WD-40 and see if we can break this loose. And I'm going to spray a whole bunch everywhere. I'm going to try to get it not only on the bolt, but around the band clamp as well, just to kind of help break it away later on. Or at least hopefully break it away. And we're going to use some vice grips on this one since we couldn't get a socket wrench on there. Come on. Yeah, this is not looking good at all. Okay, let's go and step it up a little bit. So let's grab my cutting wheel. We're going to cut this bolt right off. And almost there. A little bit more. And that looks good right there. Let's give it a little finesse. There we go, got it loose. And this thing is definitely rusted up really bad. Definitely wear safety glasses when you're under your vehicle because rust will definitely get in your eyes. Let's work this a little bit more and there we go. So this thing is definitely going to the scrap heap because there's nothing I can do with this. Look at that. There's nothing. There's no way I could have got that nut off. Yep, that's done. So now let me get my camera up here. So this is where the tailpipe meets the muffler. So you can see one's inserted in the other. So I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver, see if I can work it in that little groove in there. I basically just want to spread it apart or break it away so I can disconnect these from each other. And once we get our screwdriver into there, just lift up just a little bit. And, yep, it's working pretty good. Let's get the other side as well. I'm not trying to lift this too much. I'm just trying to get a little air gap in there. And, okay, that's not too bad. Now let's go under it and do the exact same thing. All right, lift that pretty well. Do the other side. And by the look of this exhaust, you would think this truck has been, left up north, but no, we're in the south and it's still rusted over pretty well. So let's work it around a little more. So yeah, it looks like we're able to break it loose. Yep. All right, so I'm going to leave that be, but it looks like we made some progress. All right, so now let's look at the hangers. And these things right here, yep, I'm definitely going to douse it in WD-40 as well. And hope and pray that these bolts won't break on me. And I'll do the same thing on the front as well. And I'm going to do it inside where the boot is as well as around the bolts. The bolts is the primary concern, but I just want to make it easy for me to just take these hangers right off the muffler. Alright, now let's go to the back with a 12mm socket and an extension bar. And I'm going to see if I can loosen these up. And come on. Okay, so that one's starting to break loose. Okay. Okay, so that's a good sign. Move the camera to the inner one, and I'm going to try to show you right where it's at. See if we can get a good position. So right there, that's going to be the bolt we need to loosen up and take off. So I use my extension bar, and I'll see about... come on. Feels like it's trying to move. Come on. Well, that sucks. Yep. Broke a bolt. Yeah, well, we're going to have to address that one later. So let's go ahead and get the other bolt out and see if we can do it without breaking this one. And so far, it looks pretty good. All right, so this one's good to go. And we'll finish taking it out by hand, obviously. All right, So that's pretty good. We'll set that aside. And that hanger should drop. Yep, there it goes. So now let's work our way back to the tailpipe where the muffler meet and see if we can disconnect these. And we'll try to do it with a little bit more finesse. Come on. That's working. Yeah, let's put the screwdriver right there. It's kind of stuck in one spot. Yeah, come on, come on. There we go. So that dropped pretty good. It doesn't look like we damaged anything too much. And let me move the camera over. Check this out. So look at this hanger right here. Yeah, that thing was rusted away. That was pretty much on its last leg anyway. So looking at it, yep, still broken bolt right there. We'll get there. So look at the front. This thing tore away easy, so now we can just go ahead and remove the muffler. And all we're going to do is slide it forward and then drop it down. And I'll try to do it without hitting myself in the face. So now let's get rid of this center pipe. And I'm going to try to do it with a pipe wrench. I'm going to see if I can get it on there, twist it, and move it towards me. So I got it on there. Okay, we got some twist. That's a good sign. And let's see if I can get a better angle on it. Come on. Come on, keep working it, keep working it. Ah, come on. Okay. This is definitely fighting me. Well, you can't be tight if you're cut in half. And that should be good right there. Take a screwdriver and pry it apart. That feels good right there. And come on, come on. There we go. So that definitely fought me kicking and screaming. And now we can take this clamp off. That's definitely rusted away as well. So let's pull our muffler out and take a look. Yep, it's rough. So let's address this broken bolt. Now, if you haven't broken a bolt and you're doing this, go ahead and skip way ahead, because you're going to see me struggle on this for a few minutes. So I'm going to start with some locking pliers. Since the stud is sticking out, I'm going to try to lock it down, and we're going to try twisting it. All right, so it's on there, and come on. Okay. Still not budging, all right? So now I'm going to try getting a center punch in there and see if I can drill out the center of this screw. And that feels pretty good right there. I'll grab my 1/8 drill bit, and I'll see about getting this right dead center. And almost there. And we'll go all the way through, just be safe. Okay, so far so good. And now I'm going to try a screw extractor. I usually don't have faith in these, but I always at least want to give it a try. You never know. And a few love taps. Take our wrench, turn it. Yeah, I don't put a lot of faith in these. It's hard to get a good grip on it. Alright, so our next attempt, this will definitely get the bolt out. We're going to go ahead and drill it out. So we'll step it up to a 1/4 inch drill bit and see if we can just drill it out without going up the threads too much. Alright, so we drilled all the way through. Take a look. Look at that. You can see what's left of the bolt right there. Yep, dropped right through. Alright, so now, let me see if I can run my tap through it. And this is an M8 tap, which means that's what the bolt originally is. And I'm going to see how it feels. Yeah, look how sloppy that is. Yeah, I don't get the warm and fuzzy on this one. Alright, so here's our guarantee fix. Here's our new bolt. I purchased a whole bunch of those. And I also have these threaded steel inserts. These are really good, and this works very well. So let me see if I can show you how it works. So the steel insert is threaded on the inside and outside. The inside is what the original bolt threads are. So these are M8s on the inside. On the outside, it's going to be an M12. So all we have to do is just drill out the hole, and we're going to be using a 13/32 drill bit, and then we're going to tap it to an M12. It's going to be a slightly bigger threads, but when you throw the insert in there, it'll bring it back down to an M8. And I'll grab my M12 by 1.5 and some magic tap. You always want to lubricate your taps. Definitely makes it easier to cut as well as keeps them from breaking. So I'm going to start working it little by little. And a little bit. And as soon as I feel tension, I'll back it out. Clean it up. And go right back in again. The goal is you want to work it in little by little. You don't want to snap your tap. That's the last thing you want to do. And looking at it, looks like it went all the way through. So let me back it out. And almost there. Come on, almost there. There we go. Now let me show you the threads. Check that out. Nice clean threads. Looks really good. All right, looks promising. Next, I want to grab some IPA or rubbing alcohol, and we're going to clean out those threads just to get that magic tap or the oil out of there. The goal is we're going to have some thread locking compound next, and we want to make sure those threads are as clean as possible. We want to make sure it sticks. And then of course I'll grab my paper towel and just clean up what's behind. Accelerate the drying process, as well as try to keep the rust down to a minimum. And now we're going to grab our red thread locking compound, and this is the permanent thread locker. Pretty much where if your welder's broke, you pull this stuff out. And we're going to put it on the outside of the threads only. You don't want this going on the inside. And we're going to very, very slowly try to go ahead and insert it in the hole. Try not to cross thread it. And it looks pretty good, and we'll make it flush. That feels pretty good. Let me bring the camera up so you can see what I see. And look at that. I think we were able to salvage that area. I think that we're good to go on that front. And now we can work our way to the front hanger and remove this one as well. Now you'll notice this one has some brand new bolts. Well, that's because last week when I went to take off one of the bolts to measure it, I broke one there as well. And I'll show you what we got. So one I didn't break and one I did. And I did the exact same thing. I threw a steel insert in there, and that's how I was able to fix it. So now let's take a look at our old muffler and our new one. And our old one definitely looks really rough. And the whole idea here is you just want to make sure everything matches up and everything seems to be where it's supposed to be. And the majority of items like this band clamp, we're going to replace. Pretty much anything that's rusted this bad, we have to replace. We're not going to throw it back on the truck. And the same thing goes for these brackets as well. I'm pretty much going to replace both of them because it's really cheap and easy to do. But the other thing I want to look at is make sure where these hangers are located on your muffler. You want to make sure these match because you're going to see why in the bonus reel at the end of this video. But overall, looks good. And the other thing I want to show you is these bolts. There's nothing special about them. These are pretty much M8s, and you can see we broke 2 of them. So I definitely recommend ordering a new set of these as well. So looking at this, I'll show you where the old ones look like, and these are the new ones. When you go to Nissan, they're going to try to charge you $3 a bolt. I just went ahead and bought all the same bolts for a lot cheaper. So just give you a heads up, I'll leave all that in the description. And these are our new hanger brackets. Look really good. These are not the exact OEM ones, these are aftermarkets, but they're going to work just as well. So before I install them, I'm going to add a little bit of lubricant within the holes. This just makes it easier to put the muffler on there, as well as it keeps the squeaking down to a minimum. So I'm going to throw a little bit in there, and a little bit right there. And I'll just go ahead and take a Q-tip, just kind of work it in a little bit. You don't necessarily have to do this, I'm just kind of doing it for my convenience. And yeah, that's good right there. And now we can begin the installation. And we're pretty much going to do the reverse order. So I'll start with that front muffler hanger bracket. And I'll grab a 13mm socket this time. And some thread locker. And this is going to be the blue thread locker. It's semi-permanent. We're going to want to take this off one day if we had to. So apply a good amount on our brand new bolts. Put it right in that hanger hole. Now the one thing with these hangers, they don't perfectly align with the holes. So I'm going to get one bolt started. Move it over. And I'm just going to compress it just a little bit until it lines up. And then we'll start that bolt, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Well, let's go ahead and snug it up. And I'm just going back and forth to make it nice and even. And with it snug, now we can go ahead and torque it down to 11 foot-pounds. So there's 1 and 2. All right, 1 down. And shimmy my way to the back. I'm going to grab a 2 1/4 inch band clamp. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw it right on the tailpipe. And okay, so it doesn't fit right away, so I'm going to take a pair of pliers and just kind of bend those pieces of metal in just a hair. And okay, so just about there. Give it a little more finesse with a mallet. Come on. And a few more baby taps. And let's check it. There we go. So that's what we're looking for. That looks good. All right, let's work our way to that front. And we'll do the same thing here. We'll take a 2-inch exhaust clamp, and this is a band clamp as well. I'm just going to throw it right on that center pipe. And that was pretty easy right there. And we have our muffler, so I'm going to put one of the hangers on there, and this is going to be that rear hanger. Pretty much I'm going to try to bolt that in while it's already still on the muffler. And we'll start by shimming the muffler right under the truck. Lift it up. And I'm going to try my best to see if I can get that hanger in that front bracket, so bear with me. Alright, so I'm kind of doing this with 1 foot and 1 arm just to not bump up the camera. And I think we're in there. There we go. So now we're in the front hanger. Take a look at that. So that one looks like we're good to go. Put the camera down, and I'm going to go ahead and insert the muffler right in this center exhaust pipe. And it should slide right on. And yep, that feels pretty good. That's good enough right now. Now let's work our way to the back. I'm going to shimmy down there. And I'll do the same thing with the tailpipe. So we're going to insert the tailpipe right over the muffler. Same thing. And I'm pretty much trying to insert it just a little bit, just to hold it in place. I'm not looking for perfection quite yet. All right, that's good and tight. Now let's go ahead and address this hanger. So get in position. And again, same thing. We're going to take some blue thread locker. And we're going to start our first bolt. And obviously you want to start by hand. All right, so there's one bolt. Looks like we got it started. And we'll do the same thing on the second one as well. There we go. And we'll get that one started. By the way, yes, the tailpipe did come off the muffler, but that's no big deal. And we'll go ahead and snug everything up. Take that same torque wrench, 11 foot-pounds. And let's get the second one. There we go. Now we're almost done, so we'll grab a 15mm socket and a socket wrench, and we'll tighten up the rear exhaust clamp. So get it nice and snug. Looks good. Grab our torque wrench, and it's going to be set to 47 foot-pounds. And that will definitely work. Okay, so far so good. Let's do a little check. Oh yeah, good and tight. And now we'll work our way to the front clamp. So we're going to put that band clamp right over our muffler. Snug it up. And again, this is going to be our 15mm socket and socket wrench. Okay, snug-ish. And then we'll torque it. There we go. Looks like that's not going anywhere. That's pretty good. So just to do a once-over and show you what we got. So the back looks pretty good. Working our way down to the muffler. Looks like everything looks really nice. Sad part is that's like the shiniest part of the truck right now. And going to the center. So far it looks everything pretty good. Alright, let's check it out. Let's do a startup real quick. Very nice, sounds good. Okay, no lights. And while the vehicle's running, let me shimmy right under there. We're going to check for some leaks. We'll start the rear first. Alright, that's a good spot. So I'm going to grab my soapy water. This is pretty much Dawn dish soap and water. And I'm going to spray it right on the seams where the two mufflers and tailpipes meet. Pretty much where the band clamps are. And looks pretty good. And I'll show you what I'm looking at. So I don't see any bubbles whatsoever. Usually with soapy water, you'll see it bubble up. And that's pretty much what we're going to look for when doing a test. If it doesn't look right, check your band clamps and check your positions. So this is just a little bit of knowledge I just want to share with you. When you order these mufflers, it may look similar in the picture, but pay attention to the details. This is the one I ordered right before the one I installed. Look at the hangers. Now when ordering this, you would pretty much think right off the bat like, oh, the picture doesn't always match, let's go ahead and send it. For this one, whatever I saw in the picture is whatever I got. So you can see if you look at the hangers, look right here. It's 180 degrees out for what I have now, and it's not easily bent, and I'm not grinding this off and re-welding it. So just be aware whenever you order these things, it's a very good possibility you may get what you see in the picture. But overall, everything else went great once I got the right muffler. Well, if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe.